Are you ready? Can Crush Us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody, power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers. Let's go.
And that's Sir Michael Jenks, who celebrated a birthday this week. Hey, how about you got some shout-outs from Can Crusher Nation giving you some birthday love, Jenksy boy?
I love the Can Crusher Nation. Thank you for all the shout-outs, mentions, and all of that. And the lovely post you made as well on my birthday. I appreciate that, too, Mr. Mark the Mark.
Do you remember it?
Fantastic. Oh, I remember it.
Well, not just a picture of what I wrote.
Well, like word for word, I do not remember it, but I remember the post, and then I do remember the picture. So now you got to make me look it up, don't you?
No, it was... See, I don't even remember it.
Yeah, see? Oh, see, you were quizzing me, and you didn't even know the answer.
Well, I thought it was so embedded into your mind.
Well, you know, I take those compliments, I internalize them, and it puts a big smile on my face. But it says, let's all wish the big hat wearing, finger pointing, sexy stud a very happy birthday. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
In the Hawaiian shirt with the cowboy hat and finger gun. The classiest look I could come up with.
Well, you have to look a fool. You have to look a fool. And the bonus is, like, you guys, and it's been this way for 4 years, you guys can't do any of that on Can Crushers because I don't allow you.
That's fair. It's very fair. By the way, the girlfriend loved the post as well. And
did she?
Agrees with all of it. Yeah.
I'm getting better points than some people that you know. By the way, welcome to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I'm Mark the Mark. That's Sir Michael Jenks.
Hi guys.
Did she ever see that picture prior? Oh, No. Good.
I described it to her and she just looked at me funny and I said, let me pull it up. So I pulled up that picture that you posted in that post. She laughed hysterically about it. And then I showed her the actual picture that it came from. She was loving it.
Good. So you had a good birthday though overall?
Yeah, it was a great birthday. Saw lots of people, hung out with some people that I could hang out with and enjoyed the time. And some people just didn't decide to show up for the birthday. So, you know, things happen. But I'm throwing shade at Moochie right now.
It's 2022.
2022. Yeah, his kids are sick, but I had to give him a little shot in the arm there. But
well, if it's his kids, then you can't be a dick about that. If it was him or, you know, the neighbor or something, but...
Yeah, here's the thing. He gave it to his kids, so I'm going to be a little bit of a dick about it.
He did. That's right. I remember from the 40-year dash, he did give it to him. He's an asshole.
See?
He is an ass.
But yeah, so... That also delayed his numerous questions that he had for her, but that's probably a good thing to save that for another time in another place.
Yeah, but that means now that he's the sole attention of meeting your girlfriend for the first time one time, which is could be bad news.
It could be. It was going to be the same thing.
Even with the time
he got together in a larger group, it would have been the same thing.
Touche.
He's got a handy dandy notebook, so he's on point now. But yeah.
Yeah. Not an eventful week. Besides your birthday. Not an eventful week then, huh?
No, not really. Finished up the roundabout for the girlfriend meeting at least 20 people in my family. But that wrapped up yesterday, so yeah.
That's what last week. We had to go short last week. How was the god niece? I mean, not your, you know, the mafia god niece.
She was the mafia god niece. She actually played the shy card last week, which kind of shocked me. She didn't say much. She made a couple jokes, and they kind of joked around a little bit, but it wasn't anything. So she played the shy card, so it was really on my sisters and mom to ask the questions. But everybody seemed to like Kimberly, and Kimberly seemed to like everybody that was there. So it turned out pretty well.
That's a plus. You guys are ready just to go get hitched now. Boom! Everybody's met. You're good to go.
Unfortunately for her, she has had a very heavy dose of my family, but has taken it like a champ. So I'll give her credit.
Good for her.
I'll give her credit.
Good for her. So all well.
All went well.
Good.
What about you? What's going on with you?
It's been basketball. It's been a load of basketball on the radio. It's been burning the candle at both ends and just coming home and passing out. Essentially, I'm excited. I love doing it, but there's not been a lot of hanging out video game time, or even, thank God we have podcasts in the hopper. And I knew that's why it's always good to have things in the hopper, because this week is, district games don't get scheduled until after they get played, because you don't know who's in it, and you don't know what is the median between the teams until you get to the championship, which is always scheduled at like Clarion University, but you don't want to have somebody from the Northeast coming down all the way down to the Southwest, and so there's got to be medians there, and we don't get them until essentially the day before. So that's that's where we're rolling.
Oh God, that's got to be a little bit. Is it stressful, or is it more, where the hell am I going next type anxiety a little bit?
It's definitely where the hell am I going next. Stressful, no, because it's essentially, I follow like 2 or 3 teams, so I know the ins and out of them. It's just sitting down, getting to the venue like an hour ahead of time, and then doing some real hard prep work on a team that I don't know. Which, it's nice because this Wednesday is actually 2 teams both played 10 miles apart from each other. I've called them. Okay. I've called them all week, so I have no prep work to do. It's nice. It's going in Cover Ridgeway, which is my hometown, and Elk County Catholic, which is essentially 10 miles away. Which I know the kids, so some of them are my son's friends, which is really cool. Yeah,
that is really cool.
I do have to go to Clarion once this week, which is all right. It's actually the early game. Thank God it's a 6:00 game instead of one of the 9:00 games. But because I won't waste vacation, because something has been pre-ordered and downloaded and is simmering on the PlayStation. So that day has already been booked and ready to go. That is there's no garbage day. There's no nothing day. There's just Mark sitting at home and being a 13-year-old boy playing WWE 2K22.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
And I did pull the trigger. I thought about it for a while, Jenks. I thought, wait, do I really want all the DLCs when they come out? They might be some stupid ones. Do I need the season pass? Am I going to get into that card playing game? No, just screw it, because you end up paying more overall. So I downloaded the NWO edition, and I actually get it on the 6th. So.
Oh yeah, you get it a couple days early.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So I don't care how long Revolution goes, because I'm off the next day.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
Very
nice.
Ready to go.
Very nice.
Next weekend, though, Jenks, is going to be crazy, because we are going to have Revolution. Not that the listeners care, but we may have to bump back an hour, because I will only be coming back from Sharon, because I'm calling a whole day of high school wrestling regionals on the radio, and they get over late, so they're booking us a hotel, so we don't have to drive home from Sharon. We'll play that by ear, and I'll keep you up to date, but
sounds good.
Yeah. I've never called high school wrestling before, by the way.
How's this going to go?
I don't know.
How many times are you going to reference Kurt Angle?
Probably a lot. Thank God there's an older gentleman that doesn't like doing like the reads for the ads or running the equipment. So he's got a lot of the know-how and, where the kids are ranked in the schools that they go to and so on and so forth like that.
Yeah.
I'm there for the technical part, the ads, and then throw in very little color. And a woo could come across the radio station next week. I could be cheering for an RK Bro tag team interruption or something. I don't know. I really have the slightest idea where this is going to go. So
now, you're not going to try to go in there with a garbage can and try to screw over one of the kids, are you?
I'm gonna brass knucks down the front of my pants, a fork in my shoe.
Just toss it into the other kid.
Yeah, why not?
Then you got to distract the ref. So now are you gonna go with the bedazzled blazer? How are you gonna go? Paul Heyman approach with suit and tie? What's the game plan here to distract the ref?
I haven't even thought of that. That's a great idea. I really need to ham this up, don't I?
Yeah, you gotta go full bore on this. Like I'm not saying like Grand Wizard full bore, but maybe Bobby the Brain Heenan full bore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I would like actually? I need to find myself a sweater vest.
Oh, that would do it.
Mean Street Posse.
That would be it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And I will definitely post a picture of how I'm broadcasting high school wrestling next week.
I'm picturing you as Pete Gas more than anything right now.
For sure. For sure. Other than that, I mean, that's it. I will tell you I did yesterday an amazing interview with somebody from Deep South Wrestling. Deep South, Nick Patrick runs Deep South, and his dad, Jody Hamilton, who passed away last August. They're kind of resurgence. They're having a big event this coming Friday, and my guest this week, Vet Adams, talks a lot about that. And she tells her amazing story, how she got into professional wrestling. And Jenks, I'm going to ruin it right now. We'll hear from her after Collar and Elbow, her little shout out to us. But this is going to be the Can Crusher interview of the year. It's dated right now. I don't even know what the hell today's date is. The 27th of February. It is dated that this is going to be the Can Crusher interview of the year. You have to bring it, people, because this is unbelievable what this woman has gone through to get to wrestling. I'll leave it at that. If you don't listen Wednesday, if you do listen Wednesday, make sure you have Kleenexes next to you.
That's amazing. You're hyping this up, so I can't wait for it to come out Wednesday.
I'll pull the fourth wall down to the podcast real quick, too. Interview is about an hour and a half, between opening and closing and stuff. And then Vet and myself talked for another hour afterwards. She is somebody that is a best friend now. Really. I opened up to her, and she opened up to... I mean, I've never met her in person, but she feels like she could either be like a little sister or somebody like that, yeah, I want to go to Atlanta now.
That's amazing.
It's awesome.
That is amazing.
The wrestling community. Listen, folks, let me tell you, she is an advocate for so much in... Whew. All right, before I give it away or cry again, because I end up crying on the podcast as well. So, just so you know.
So definitely have the tissues ready, guys.
Yeah.
And be prepared for, would you say, an emotional ride?
Yeah.
Sounds like it will be.
Emotional, inspirational, but then we break down and get funny as well. You will have every emotion Wednesday on this spotlight. It's crazy.
That's amazing. I can't wait.
I've not even told. Cal has even asked me, my wife, she's like, well, what? I'm like, nah, I can't. I said, this is something that people have to listen to and get their own feels without me giving a spoiler. So, yeah.
All right. You heard him, guys. This is going to be a good one and interview of the year. already the top candidate.
Yeah.
For you. That's fair.
Yeah. Unless, I don't know, Jesus Christ and the Pope sit down with us, the four of us or something. I don't know. But I still have to think, maybe.
Are you trying to get God on this podcast and talk to him about the tag team match against Vince McMahon? I mean, it's a bold strategy.
It is a bold strategy. Who do you think would win? No, all right.
Well, we know Vince won. I mean, he beat Shawn that night.
He did.
Shawn and God.
Shawn and God.
Oh, God.
So, other than that, I have nothing else. I watch a little bit of college baseball, and if Major League Baseball doesn't come back, Jenks, I'm engulfed in college already. I already am getting set to watch some on ESPN Plus this afternoon after the family goes and gets hot dogs, and yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta flip on the college baseball. I forgot they had it on ESPN now. To be honest,
they have to.
Yeah, there's nothing else going on. And let's be honest, by tomorrow's deadline, I don't see anything being accomplished for MLB. So definitely no season on time.
No.
If there is going to be one.
I can't imagine. If it is, it's going to be shortened, because they're way, way, way far away. I've been watching Ben Verlander a lot talk about it, who's Justin's brother, and he's got stake in the game essentially, and he's like, we're nowhere fucking close.
I was going to say this is going to drag out maybe for a couple more months at least. And that's just my personal opinion. I think it's going to be half a season, if anything.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I
agree. So, which ruins my baseball trip, because you're going to have to redo the whole schedule all over.
Oh, yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Yep. Yeah,
all right.
God, when was that planned for?
The middle of June it was planned for. That won't happen.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. So, all right. Other than that, kind of I don't want to say a weak opening for us, but it's been a week of craziness for me, partying for Jenks, and not a lot of big to-do news that we have to really shout it out right now, so we can keep it kind of wrapped in AEW and WWE's plot line that we have going, right?
Yeah, I mean, they did all of it last week.
Yeah.
All the news hit last week.
They did.
There's a couple of things hitting here and there, but it more pertains to the products themselves. So we'll probably get into it during our segments here.
Yeah. All right, guys. Collar and Elbow hats, hoodies, tees, all the sweet stuff that Al Snow and his homeboys over at Collar and Elbow Wrestling have. Use the promo code CANCRUSHERS, all one word, capital C and CAN, capital C and Crushers. You'll save 10%. Head over to whatamaneuver.com and look us up on there. We have all our shirts and hoodies there. Don't forget to check out our website for the other stuff that we have from Spring Creator. That's linked to our Wixsite website, which you can find on all our social medias, which is Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can get stuff from there. It's all at CanCrusher69. Keep flooding the emails, jokingly. Flooding them. They're flooding the emails right now. No, at least wrestlers are reaching out on emails to schedule stuff for March and everything, so thank you there. But it's cancrusher69@gmail.com, and listen to us everywhere a freaking podcast can be. Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart, iTunes, Half of them don't send money, so I only listen to half of them. Right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Fair enough. We might have some other things in the works here in the future, but we have to get through districts and regional basketball before Mark dives into that. And I'll tell you that we will be having a non-wrestling related spotlight coming up that will break down everything that Chad Miller from OVW and Al Snow and Dave Hero will be doing again this year in Du Bois for the wrestling show and the Chad Miller, not the Chad Miller, Jesus, the Miller Invitational baseball tournament that we are so engulfed in. I'll tell you right now, that will be taking place June 14th in the rest of that week, and it's going to be baseball, softball out the wazoo, so I will be doing a lot of play-by-play for that as well, so I'm excited there. But, again, we'll have the GM of the newly formed, what the hell are they called? The Louisville Jockeys, the college league that they have coming on to talk about stuff, and Chad will probably be in as well. So we always break once in a while for that. That's something that's near and dear to my heart for Chad. He got me into OVW, and we'll use this platform to get the kids involved in baseball as well, Jenks, because we're both huge baseball fans as well. So we always have that one in the year that we kind of pause for wrestling and let Chad do his thing.
That's exactly, and that's a worthwhile cause, and it'll be a fun episode during that time. So I love it. It
will, and then you'll have to come down this year for the wrestling event in Dubois, and
Dubois.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to let you be the ring announcer. That's for sure.
Well, that's rude.
You can carry the titles back and forth, or ring the bell or something. I don't know. Maybe.
Wow. Wow.
Wow. Thanks.
Jockey carrying the bags, huh? Got to start as the young boy, if you will, in Japan.
Maybe you could be ring crew before and then ring crew after. This way, no.
No, we shouldn't be having me tighten down anything.
We should just put it on. We should just broadcast the damn thing on our YouTube channel this year, and not me be the ring announcer. We can find somebody else to ring announce, and then we should just broadcast it on our YouTube channel. I don't know why I just thought of that. Literally right now, I thought of that.
Look at that. The ideas are spewing. A terrible idea that I would not condone, and hopefully he doesn't hear this and start bombarding us, is Moochie doing the ring announcing, because I think that would just shit the bed on the show. So,
that would be
the
amazing.
co-host at the 40-year dash.
That would be amazing. And Cody can come out of his house and he can be the young boy then.
There you go.
Chad,
I'm just saying, Moochie is trying to be an officiant of a wedding as well. So, putting that out there too. So he needs practice.
Maybe somebody can get married in the wrestling ring and he announces it.
There you go.
Chad, we have this whole weekend booked for you. You just have to show up. We're good. We're good. I know you're going to listen to this because I told you I'd give you a shout out today. All right, let's pause. Let's hear from Al, and then Vet Adams will come on and give a little shout out, and then we'll dive into AEW. We'll go AEW heavy this week since you shit on it last. No, I'm kidding. We were against the wall last week.
Yeah, it was me. It was all me.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey, this is Vet Adams, and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast in 1, 2, 3.
And welcome back to Can Crushers. Yes, I'm ready for some AEW Jenks. Let's start as we normally do. You can tell there's no rhyme or reason to the show this week. It's almost like we don't want to do it, but we're doing it, and we're doing it. I don't know.
Is there ever a rhyme and reason to the show?
There's not. There's not, but there's less. I'm hungry. I really want these hot dogs from Mad Dog 159 in Kane, Pennsylvania today, by the way.
That's the second time you plugged them.
I know. Hopefully, because I want that Cali dog and Hawaiian dog.
Those do sound very nice. You did explain those to me beforehand. Yeah, they sound really good.
Yeah, look them up. Mad Dog 159, Fraley Street. They're also, I know this a lot because they're actually one of our major sponsors for the basketball, too. So I hear it every freaking night 3 or 4 times. So I'm like, I haven't been there in a while.
Gotta go back.
I gotta go back. And then Ethan's like, I want hot dogs today. I'm like, yes. Everybody, yes. So, Jenks, I have a few beefs with AEW this week because it was almost, Dynamite was live, but it almost looks like it was recorded. And Rampage, we know, is recorded. And my big beef with Dynamite is they just threw people in the ring and started matches. There was a lot of cold entrances. I guess that's what you call them there. My big one is we didn't get Wardlow's entrance. We didn't get this part. I mean, stop. Give yourself time. Are you trying to get too much on a show? And I think that might be their issue.
Well, that's been the thing over the past couple months. They're just jamming everything they can into the 2-hour time slot. And I'm not saying go to 3 hours.
No,
right?
no.
But it seems like that's what they're doing is they're trying to get everybody a spotlight, but they're getting everybody pushed into a show. It kind of takes away from some people at the end of the day because you don't get that build up for their entrance and their almost comeuppance. We talked about the Aurora before and having people in the entrances and how they're big and coming down. It kind of takes away from their moment and their time to shine.
It does. It really does on a story that. And the one that really goated me was Wardlow's. The way I know we're talking about Rampage right now, but that's just the way it is.
Right.
They smashed like 3 storylines together, and they're like, we're just going to jump to the ring right now with Wardlow. I'm like, he is one of the biggest, in my eyes, one of the biggest, longest running storylines right now because everything is going to come to a head next week with him and MJF, I would think. Or at least start the huge culmination of, because let's throw it out there, we're going to do predictions next week, but everybody knows our prediction on the Face of the Revolution match. Wardlow's going to win it. And then MJF's going to come out and say, hey, I want that.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything's coming to head. But to your point, it almost didn't kill Wardlow's full momentum, but it kind of takes a little bit of the shine off of it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
For you, because it takes that luster off of it because, well, we're saying Wardlow's an afterthought. Or we're just saying that, well, even the Face of the Revolution match, it's kind of an afterthought because we're taking away from that. I don't know. I think they could have moved the contract signing to Dynamite next week, and that would have at least added some time back to Wardlow's entrance and given some more time in matches and whatnot. I get why they did it, but I mean, it could have been done on Dynamite next week in front of the live audience to kind of make it a little bit, to alleviate that time. But you're right, there's 5 or 6 things that they had to get done yesterday or on Friday night that was just, it felt like a smash together show.
Yeah.
Where when Rampage started a few months ago, it was 3 matches, couple promos, we're good to go. Now it's 5, it's almost like 4 or 5 matches. You're still trying to get promos in. It's kind of cutting back on people from standing up and actually shining through.
Well, I'm all right if you want to extend Rampage another hour on Fridays.
Oh,
I'm all right with that. There's
too.
nothing else, especially it's 2 hours after SmackDown. Everybody knows how the TV schedule works, Mark. We understand that. But, you know, it's not competing against anything. Maybe NBA basketball or on the West Coast or whatever. But for a wrestling fan, you're either at the bar Friday night or you're going to end up watching a Rampage and then go to bed and not go to the bar. And I'm all right with that because I'm a grown-ass adult now that I don't have to go to the bar every Friday night.
Yeah, you can get drunk at your house.
Cheaper as well.
Cheaper, shorter commute, cheaper, fall asleep in your chair and you're good.
And there's no lines for the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
But
exactly.
Let's dive back to Dynamite, and it starts with the Tag Team Battle Royal. And Jenks, we're one for one already because we both said at least Red Dragon is going to win one of them.
Yeah,
and they did.
They did, and it was no surprise I was kind of hoping they'd pull a sword with Johnny Hungee, but it wasn't going to happen in that way. But
he looked great again.
He did look great. He keeps standing out more and more. I don't be surprised if he gets a shot at the TNT title here. I can't remember if he has or not, but he's going to get another shot at it, at least. But
I know he does a lot for the Dark Order. He kind of... there's no leader anymore. I don't care what anybody... There's no leader anymore. But he, to me, is the gel of the Dark Order.
Exactly. Well, he's a standout member. Yeah, you have Ken coming through bulldozing people, but you're right. When you think Dark Order, you don't think Evil Uno, you don't think Reynolds, or exactly, I ran out of names. You think Johnny Hungee.
Right.
You think Johnny Hungee, and that's who you, because he's hilarious and he's a standout character and he can work in the ring.
Yeah.
So,
and Colt Cabana has been in Australia for like 3 months now. I don't know if he's doing a movie down there or trying to set up another like AEW training ground or something like that, because I've heard both. And he would be somebody good to, if he's doing a movie, that's kind of on his own. But to set up like an AEW training ground in Australia, he would be the one, because he's not needed on TV. He's got that presence of being that huge indie star who has made it to AEW now. You're not pulling anybody important from a storyline. So I think it would be great if that's what he is actually doing down there.
Yeah, that would be awesome if they're doing that. And smart on their part. Get the training ground established and get that pipeline. Almost like college, you're getting that pipeline set up to get that talent into AEW.
Yeah, because there's untapped people in Australia. We've seen it from, the Inspiration. We had Nikki Nitro on that's coming to, wrestle here in the States here in a couple months. That she'll come back on to talk. She's going to be working with Al Snow and Dave Hero and us and Chad Miller. She'll be in Du Bois. Just another cheap plug for you, Chad. But yeah, like there is people down there, and that's a perfect thing. Like OVW does it all over the world. So AEW may be jumping on. Well, NXT also has a UK brand. Come on,
right?
It's a smart idea.
Exactly.
Did you like the way that this ended? As we clearly are going to get the breakup soon.
Oh, it's happening. It's going to happen at Revolution.
Yeah. And then, the following week, we're getting a 6-man match between them.
Yeah, I think, yes, agreed. I also think this is where you're going to see Omega's going to show up, not soon, but probably April timeframe leading up until Double or Nothing in May. So the breakup's coming. It's imminent. I think Red Dragon and the Young Bucks somehow get involved in the title match. And I won't get into my predictions for that later on, but I think that's where the catalyst really occurs at Revolution.
I do too.
Yeah, but it's coming, and it's going to happen at some point. We know it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and just a side note for programming next week, again, it's going to be AEW heavy prediction show because it's just a couple hours before Revolution. Right. So we'll probably spend most of our time on that and then just touch on WWE in the third segment of what really, talking about Vince setting up with Pat McAfee, probably, is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we'll get into that in the third segment a little bit here too, that preview. But yeah, it's going to be heavy next week. And I already got those. I'm already listing out my predictions, but I think they're pretty straightforward. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and that's where I think you're going to be wrong this time. I don't think they're going to be straightforward. I think this is time to change. It's time to change. But we'll see.
All right. We'll see.
MJF's promo, did he hit you in the feels, or is he a hell of an actor?
It hit me in the feels, but he's also a hell of an actor. I still think there's more to this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think this was as genuine as it looked. I don't know when the revelation comes that it's not as genuine. you know.
Oh, it'd have to be this week. It'd have to be this week. So Punk's even more pissed off.
Would it though? Or would you play the mind game into Revolution for the dog collar match, kind of almost lulling Punk into a little more of a hesitation state? And then you reveal it afterwards if MJF wins that match, saying, I played you hook, line, and sinker. You didn't bring your ruthless side. Because you saw Punk at the end of that promo.
Yeah.
Is this real? And he said, yeah.
And then he had a tear. He had a tear.
He had a tear. It was fantastic acting. And when the revelation comes that this was perfection acting, MJF is on the main event stage and he's already done. He is the next world champion in my eyes. It's already done. Signed, sealed, and delivered. He's a main event player. The pillar's established. Cement's in the ground. It was already being built. We already established that it's the biggest pillar in the world. Once this revelation comes, he's never breaking that legendary status.
Wow.
After that.
Legendary already.
I'm calling it.
That promo itself. Being devil's advocate, for the love of God. I agree, though.
No, I get why you're being devil's advocate, because there's going to be some people that won't believe that. But this promo Wednesday, if this proves to be a act in a Trojan horse of sorts, it's one of the best promos I've seen.
Oh, yeah.
In my lifetime.
I agree. I agree. We do get a shocker, and then after the next match, essentially, then, as we get the House of Black taking on Pac and Penta. What do you switch his last name to? Death Killer or something?
Sakura or Scora?
There you go. I'm glad you're saying it.
Osquro. Yeah, I'm butchering it, so the hate's coming. Also, well, before we get to the big thing that came after that match, I thought Penta was going to turn.
I did too. Why would he turn? Why would he turn into that? I get why he turned into that to kind of counteract the House of Black. I thought it was the turning point for him. I thought he was going to be the third member. I thought, all right, this isn't going to be long. This is going to be, Pac's going to get his ass kicked, and he's going to make the tag, and then as he's still in the ring, I thought Penta was just going to lay him out and walk away with the House of Black. But we didn't get that.
No, we did not.
We got Buddy Murphy. His name's Buddy Matthews now.
The BMM.
Yeah. And they set it up at first that he was going to be with Penta and Pac. And then you quickly saw, when you're with somebody, I think you just balls to the wall come out and you should start swinging. But he didn't. Yeah. But how long is he going to be with Alistair? Or Malachi? Damn it.
No, see?
Yeah.
There you go.
How long is he going to be with Malachi? Because it seems like he's not a good servant as of right now. Like, he had to get told a couple times to do what he had to do.
Yeah, you could see the hesitation there. And is it an untrusting of Malachi because of past history? Who knows? I feel like this is going to be a 6-month endeavor, and maybe he turns on the House of Black at the end of the year, and we get Malachi and Buddy outside of WWE restraint in a match.
Yes.
I would love that, because that would be, well, their matches, I think they would be awesome at this level.
Yeah.
Handcuffs are off, and they're allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah, Buddy's been popping up on indie shows all over, and I've actually been watching some on, IWC TV, not IWC TV, Jesus, Mark, on Title Match when he's popping up there, or Independent Wrestling TV. He's been popping up on some of those, and I saw him at WrestleCade as well. He's still, he's not been not doing anything, if that makes sense. He's been doing stuff. So he's got no ring rust since he's been released from the WWE, so he's ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
The Britt and Rosa promo, which then essentially turned into the contract signing on Friday. The promo here on Dynamite was straightforward. Yeah, I don't even know why I wrote it down.
It was your run of the mill. Let's build up suspense for the Friday contract signing type deal, and there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
they did a great job selling it. Building it up. Honestly, they could probably just go into the match without promos, and I'd be sold on the match. But that's a different story. You build it up naturally, and it turned out good.
Yeah, Jericho and Eddie was money for me. I love this. If MJF didn't do his promo, this would have been a hotter topic this week. It would have been. And that's kind of, maybe they're putting too much. And I'm not sniding AEW for this, because they're keeping the whole show hot. But maybe break these up, because this might have been like, oh, it's Jericho and Eddie. If you didn't listen to this cut deep. This was personal.
Yeah. This was very personal, very quickly. This would have been better, I'm saying, on Rampage than the contract signing, to split it up.
Yes.
To your point. Because then it would make Rampage a must-watch type deal. But yeah, this was personal, and they were not holding back any punches whatsoever.
No.
And that's what you come to expect from Kingston promos.
Yeah, this has been a long story for these two, and this was a great kind of culmination before the match build-up type of deal. I always wanted to see the match because I'm a huge Eddie Kingston fan all of a sudden recently, within the last 6 months or so. But this just makes it a must-see mid-card match.
Exactly.
On the Revolution. Am I going to need to go to the bathroom at some point? Yeah, but it's not going to be during this match, because I don't think this is going to be anything but a fight. There's not going to be Eddie. Eddie's just going to be a giant jackass and fight Jericho, and I think he needs to.
It's a brawl.
Yes.
Straight up brawl. And I love how Eddie Kingston stuff, even though this one's been building for a lot longer, I look back at the Punk promo with him and Punk going into Full Gear. They both really sold the match in 2 weeks. Jericho and Kingston, now that they're finally coming to blows, are really selling this match even further for 2 weeks. And in the next 2 weeks, it's been building for months. Yes, we know with Santana and Ortiz and that, but it's really just taken a shine over the past couple weeks. And now we finally get the promo to just hype it to that excellent mid-card match. That's must watch. You can't leave your seat. Focus on it. It'll be a bowling shoe ugly brawl in a good way, but it's going to be a great match nonetheless.
Nice reference.
Thank you.
Next we get Starks against 10. Yeah, it was a ladder match qualifier. And as much as I would have loved to see 10 in it, I don't think he would have fit in this. Because we got bigs already in it. We need some littles. Yeah. We need some people that are going to take some ass beatings. And I think Starks might be that guy. As we skip forward even into Rampage, there was another little guy that got in. But I think Starks is going to be the guy that takes a lot of punishment in this match.
Starks is selling this match. It's him, the other little guy in Rampage. They're going to be the sellers for this match, but you're right. I was kind of surprised they had that much beef in this match going into it. I thought they'd have more little guys at least signed up for it, but this ladder match is going to be more brutal than it is high-flying extravaganzas.
Yeah, I think the ladders are going to be more of weapons than having people like Scorpio Sky last year jumping off of them and doing all of that. So
exactly.
Yeah. Red Dragons and a Buck. And the Bucks kind of have a little qualm backstage. Again, it's just build up. It's build up to the triple threat match that we're going to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nothing to talk about, really. Jade and the Bunny for the TBS title. I don't know. Like, I love the Bunny. Like, she's a good worker. We know Jade's going to continue until she faces Britt, essentially, or I say Britt now, or the women's champion at the time. I never thought the Bunny was going to win this. Like, Jade has gone through the lineup now a couple times. I don't want it to keep being resurfaced, but we're going to get another resurface again because Ty comes out and wants it.
Yeah. Well, it's setting up the dominoes for Jade to run through.
She's ran through them. She's 900-0.
I know. I'm not arguing with you about that. She's run through them, obviously. They have to. It's a holding pattern until she's in the women's title picture, which now I'm thinking is double or nothing.
It's got to be, right? I know we're gonna long forecast things, but it's got to be, because how much longer can we keep Jade down? Essentially.
Yeah. Well, this is, in my opinion, this is the danger of these undefeated streaks.
Yes.
At some point, you fall into that trap of you've built them up too big, and now they're in a holding pattern and they're losing momentum if you don't make the jump as soon as possible.
Yeah. I mean, somebody that would be a good competition for her would be Mercedes Martinez, but she's engulfed into this whole Britt and Thunder Rosa thing, so you can't pull her, and I'm saying pulling her down because the TBS title is the second level title, and I don't mean anything about anybody's talent, but you can't pull her down to a mid-card story when she's the heavy going forward for Thunder Rosa.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly it. They've done a wonderful job building some storylines with this, and I like what they were doing with Jade. But to your point, when you put the second tier title on it, you kind of lose spectrum. There's 6 people or 6 women right now that cannot be brought into this feud.
Yeah.
At least for the next month and a half, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I completely agree. So we'll see where that goes. And then the main event of Dynamite was Danielson against Garcia, which, good match. A nice match. Yeah. I loved everything about it. Again, kind of same lines as Moriarty's last week. It's going to get lost in the shuffle because the story of what Danielson is doing is the focus, not the match.
Yeah, exactly. And I love this match, but to your point, everything gets lost in the shuffle. And we're going to see this consistently. But let me ask you this. We know everything's going to get lost in the shuffle. These matches are getting lost in the shuffle. But if Moxley and Danielson do decide to become a tag team, do you see them pulling this younger talent up and breaking away from 2.0, breaking away from Matt Sydal? Do you see those guys being transitioned under them as proteges, a part of AEW? Because I don't know if they are now.
I thought if they were going to start, our dream team is Mox, Danielson, and Punk. At least it's mine.
Right.
But if it's just Mox and Danielson, which is going to happen, and they're going to run amok for a while, I think one more. I think it just needs to be one more. And Garcia's linked to 2.0 too much. So if they're going to grab one, it's going to be Lee. In my heart of hearts, I think it's going to be Lee. But I think you're right. I just see them running amok as a tag team and not really doing anything with the younger kids. They're teaching them a lesson now, but it's kind of going to be part of the storyline that's dropped.
Yeah. So I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I think they do run amok as a team for a time period. I could see a third member joining, but they're not a part of the roster now.
Oh.
And it was recent developments this past week.
What am I missing?
Did you not see Claudio's contract with WWE?
Yes.
Yeah. So if Claudio Cesaro, for those that aren't or don't know his name outside of WWE, if Claudio comes over, AEW gets him, and I'm not saying they're going to inject him in a big storyline. Would that be the third man? Would that excite you to be the third man of that group?
Yes. Yes, it would. Yes, even though I think I might have notes in the old WWE part of my phone,
Right.
but I read at one point somebody put this on there, if you really want to piss off Vince, bring Claudio over, have him destroy Hangman Page, put the title on him, and let him run for a while, and see what the fans think of Cesaro then, because you've lost a lot of money, Vince. And essentially, that was the tweet.
I mean, that's a solid point. Will they pull that trigger? Probably not. But
No, not that fast. But I think he will be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see it. I mean, well, first of all, I think they really missed out on that, but that's a whole other story. We can talk about that during the WWE time. But if you want to talk purebred professional wrestler that Danielson's kind of been hyping up in this group, you throw Moxley, you throw him, Claudio's available now. My God in heaven. You want to teach some young kids a lesson? Claudio's going to teach them that lesson big time.
The stretchers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's going to be good. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Off of that.
In his contract, we're just going to talk about it now, probably a little bit too.
Yeah.
His contract just ended.
Yeah.
Were they not paying attention to it? Did they try to offer him something? Was it just something that leaked, or was WWE just down on him that much that they just didn't remember? And your beard is all over your microphone.
I apologize. I'm shaking today. But let's go off of that. 1 year ago, WrestleMania, Seth Rollins. Okay. Then he gets a Universal title shot, completely out of the picture. Just disappears.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know how you get that down on a guy. I also think they may have offered him a contract to kind of keep him from going. But when you have friends such as Tyler Breeze that's been released, Adam Cole, who you hang out with regularly, game with, could be just a gamer friend, but Adam Cole's in your ear at least once a couple times a week. Grass is greener on the other side. Hey, bud, just let your contract lapse and come over here. You know,
because there's not a no compete. He can show up. He could have showed up
at Revolution.
Yeah. Essentially, he could show up this Wednesday. In all honesty, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I instantly thought yes. I did.
Yeah.
Rampage starts off with Andrade against Sammy for the TNT title, and we said this off air. Why wasn't this a pay-per-view match? They gave this away, and it was awesome.
It was fantastic. I understand. Maybe they have another. Maybe they're putting Darby and Sammy on the pay-per-view. I don't know, but God, man, this was.
No,
I don't know if it's
isn't it the 6-man match? Didn't they say that at the end that it's going to be?
I thought that was on Dynamite next week.
Oh, okay.
That's why I said maybe Sammy and him at the pay-per-view, but maybe I'm mistaken. I thought it was at the next week's Dynamite. We'll have to look that up to verify. But what is going on? I guess let me back. My mind's all over the place with this, but let me just go here. Why do we not want Andrade on pay-per-views, or why are we not seeing Andrade wrestle more?
Right.
What's going on? Like, I don't understand that aspect of it when you have that talented of an individual. Just, I don't want to say they're holding him back, because obviously when they give him a match or a great match, he runs with it. But man, Sammy Andrade at a pay-per-view,
well,
for the roof off, show stealer.
Let's stick with that whole overall thought for a minute of Andrade not getting a lot of TV time. Does AEW have too many people? Can we say this and actually mean it right now? Because we want Claudio to come in, we want Bray to come in, we want but where the hell has Miro been? Who was a wrecking ball for a while? Like, and Andrade was kind of getting the same type of work right now. He's not on TV. Oh, he's on TV. Oh my God, look at this match. We forgot what Andrade can do. Now where is he going to go? He lost the TNT title match.
Yeah.
Essentially, he's got to start over again. And how's he going to ever get built up for the big title, the world title, if he's ever going to get to smell that?
Well, at this rate, I don't think he's ever going to smell that.
Right.
It just seems. I think you have a valid point there. It seems like maybe they have too many people and too much talent there to make that a thing. Put Andrade on TV. I get it. He's tied down with the Hardy family thing, and
get him the fuck out of that. First off.
Well, I'm assuming he's just taking that over at some point. But why can't we get him wrestling more? I don't want him in this managerial. I see him wrestle every 1 or 2 months. That's not how I get. That's a want from me, but I think it's a want from the fans. We want Andrade. We know what he can do. We've seen him in the ring. The man is a very talented performer. What is holding them back or holding him back from being put into that spotlight? Who's holding him back? Is it
creative?
The better question.
Creative and Khan, then. That's where he gets his matches from.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know.
QT comes out and is rambling, and Hook comes out and beats up everybody that's a student. And as much as Hook is the sexiest man alive right now and hot shit on the internet and all that, can we just get him to do something and have a legit match? Have it be against Starks or Hobbs or somebody. I think he's built up enough that he can carry a longer match now. That's just me. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I want to see him do more than just toss people and give what was the movie where they were movie stars in it? Blue Steel? Was that the look that you got? Not Ben Affleck, not Ben Affleck. The other one.
Not Matt Damon.
Not Matt. No. He's goofy all the time. He's in Meet the Fockers.
Ben Stiller.
Yeah, Ben Stiller. He was in the movie about being a runway model.
Oh, Zoolander.
Zoolander. Thank you. And it was Blue Ice or Blue. What was his look called?
Oh God, I can't even remember. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's all Hook's doing. He's coming out doing 1 or 2 things, then he gives the camera the Blue Ice Steel look, and then
it's done.
He's done. I want more.
I think they do the more after Revolution. And I say Revolution because I feel like they're going to throw QT and Hook on Revolution for a bathroom break match.
Good.
But it's Hook's first pay-per-view. It just has that feeling because obviously the end goal is for him to face QT. And that just seems like the end goal of this whole thing. I feel like it's going to be at Revolution. Maybe they push it off, make it his first Dynamite match after Revolution. I don't know. But that seems to be coming to it where this is going to come to a conclusion. And then Hook can start being built up against probably more talented individuals. Maybe we get a Lee Moriarty Hook match at some point of that nature. So also
we need something for the buy-in. So have it be Hook and QT for the buy-in. I'm all right with that.
That's smart.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the buy-in, but that's a good call. Hook's first exposure to a pay-per-view type environment. QT is doing a lot of work with them behind the scenes, with talent behind the scenes. So
right.
I think that's a good veteran to have him throw around and just suplex the shit out of and then choke out with Red Rum.
Yeah.
Out of it. But also, some of those bumps that those guys took during this.
That was on a stage. There was
one
understand.
that bent in half.
There was no give whatsoever. The one guy's arm looked like it just... If you've never seen Dave Drabecky throw a pitch and his arm just completely blow up during that pitch, look on YouTube for that clip. He was a San Francisco Giants pitcher, by the way. His arm just snapped in half. That's what that one kid's whole fucking arm and shoulder looked like that bounced off of the ramp then looked like. Like, he legit looked like he got hurt.
Yeah, and then the one kid he threw that kind of bent, like, in the back. His back hit right at the corner of the stage.
Yes.
That one looked like he's not going to be walking right for the rest of his life. Because the way he hit that, oh, my God. It kind of reminded me of when Michaels took that bump off the coffin.
Yes. Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it reminded me of, and I'm like, that guy's back is screwed.
Yeah, you're done. Tap out.
You're done. Good career, kid. Thanks for coming, but oh my God.
Your boy Huskus Lambert, Paige and Sky, they want the TNT title shot that he was supposed to get last year. And did he not get a title shot at one point?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He just wants it again, apparently. I don't know.
Okay. Good for him. And this is where I start to get pissed because all of this happened in the first segment, and we're like, here comes Wardlow and Camarado. What? My mind just could not, because after these things, I'm programmed to pauses or people coming out to the ring, and then legit there was action. It was like Monday Night's Main Event back in the 80s when Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan hosted in the studio, and you just went to matches from wherever. And we're in the middle of the match. That's the way that show is programmed. I understood that as a kid, that you're going to not see people enter and this and that. You just got the matches. This blew my mind that we went back to this because of everything I said earlier about Wardlow and the hype of him and this, that, and the other. Now, don't get me wrong. After my mind settled back down, this was a great big man match. Everybody knows I love Wardlow. I've seen his first match to now. Camarado, I was a little bit down on. He can move. He's a big man that I'd like to see get a little comeuppance too. Yeah,
it's amazing when he's got to play the big man. It doesn't seem like he's that first, but when he's against another big man, he really shines. I've noticed that with Camarado.
Yeah,
and this was a perfect example of it. It was good. He can move. It's fantastic. He was doing Wardlow the favor on this, obviously, but man, this was a surprising match. This was really surprising to me how good this match, even as quickly as it was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because then we get to the storyline of the match. Then essentially, where he's going for a fourth power bomb, and it was after the match. No, it was Solo that was getting power bombed. I'm sorry, because he pinned him with 4. Solo was going to take a power bomb, and Spears comes in and hits Wardlow and Solo with a chair and says the whole, "You're not allowed using the power bomb anymore. Nobody cares about it." And I love the crowd. Then it wasn't even out of Spears' mouth, and they were going apeshit crazy in AEW.
Oh yeah, God, they were eating it alive. It was over. We knew it. Here it is. Here we go.
Next thing we get is Serena Deeb against Kayla Sparks. Kayla Sparks was actually on TV twice on Friday night. She was the one that the Garza and Humberto, I forget their freaking tag team name all the time.
Los Lothario or Lothagios or something like that.
Yeah, lethal.
I'm not even trying it anymore.
In English, it means lethal lovers. I know that. You would think the person with the last name of Martinez would know what the hell they're saying, but I don't. So she ends up being on both. Jensen, this is where I'm going to pause and bitch, because Serena Deeb just destroys her. All right, boom.
Yeah.
We're making something about everybody, and I brought this up for a reason, that people are on 2 shows at one time now. Okay. It's happened a numerous amount of times. When Rick Rude did it, it was hot shit. Like, it was awesome. It wasn't planned. You now know that you can be on 2 shows. One being live from Hershey, and then one being taped from Wednesday. Okay. It's cool. And this is where I might get some heat from Indie Stars. It's predictable now that you're going to try to do that. it's not as newsworthy as Rick Rude doing it. I think it's done too much now.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. The whole terminology around it being they pulled a Rick Rude. Rick Rude was and this is no disrespect to anybody, so I might take the hate off of you, but Rick Rude was established superstar that did this. A lot of these people, they're still coming up, not household names. If they were household names, I feel like it would have that Rick Rude effect on it. But if you ask anybody out there about, the city star that's doing it, well, that's good for them. But how does it impact the business?
Right.
You know what I mean? And again, no disrespect, but at the same time, I'm looking at it like, hey, this is great for Kayla Sparks. She's on both shows. It's great, but it's not a Rick Rude.
No.
To your point, it's predictable, but it's not the Rick Rude level. Like Rick Rude level to me would be if Cesaro was still on SmackDown and then he showed up as Claudio in
Rampage.
AEW.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But that couldn't happen. But that would be a Rick Rude level.
Yes.
So,
I agree. Thank you. So we both have heat.
Yep.
I like how Deeb, though, as we go back to the match for a quick second, that is winning each match differently. The very first one, she won it in less than a minute. She just beat the piss out of whoever she fought.
Yeah.
Last week, she was more, I guess, power with Katie Arquette. And then this week, she just wanted to rip limb by limb off of Kayla Sparks. So she decimated limbs. She left her core alone, but her limbs were just broken in half.
Exactly.
What are we setting up for then with Shida?
That's a great question. Is it just establishing how dangerous Deeb is? Is there a match with Shida
I
on the
know.
horizon?
I don't know now. Because this isn't... I thought for the longest time that's what we were going to get. I don't know.
It's starting to feel like, and it seems like Shida's going to be out of the picture right now. They're building up Deeb for a shot at a title.
TBS.
Maybe. Or is it Thunder Rosa's first title defense on Dynamite?
Because they've had history as well.
Exactly.
With the NWA title.
Exactly.
All right.
Could they be going that route? And which would be perfectly fine with me. Deeb wouldn't have needed to do this, but I think it's reestablishing in the audience's mind she's a danger and she's a threat.
I love it. I love
I
this.
do too.
Yeah.
I do too. And that's what these they're essentially squash matches, but that's what they're designed to do. Build up the person you're helping. I mean, building up Wardlow. When it's done right, these things put them in a more powerful, popular position because you want to see them do more and more to people. And it makes them a dangerous threat.
Yeah, agreed. Then we get the contract signing from Britt and Rosa, and this was a good signing. It really was. It wasn't a lot of chaos off the bat, because you get some signings that before shit even happens, they're fighting, and we really never see them sign. I love the words between both of them. If you don't understand what Thunder Rosa, I do know that. If you don't understand what Thunder Rosa called Britt, look that up yourself. We won't say that on here. But Britt just saying, you just want to be me. You just want to be the doctor. You want to be the DMD. And she's a bitch, and she plays it so well. Again, hometown, knowing her and everything, yeah. But Britt is just doing it.
Britt's the face of the division.
The pillar.
And the pillar of the division, yeah. And she's a fantastic at what she does. Britt Baker, there's no denying the talent, the promo skills, everything is there. And she plays it to perfection. And let's be honest, she's maybe at the beginning of her prime.
Yeah.
Maybe not even in her prime yet. So give her another 2 years. My God in heaven, it's going to be even more over the top. And you're talking about pillar cementing legendary status. It's going to be Britt Baker here in a very short time period.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think, and once Britt loses this, again at Revolution, but I think because we're all predicting that, I think she stays away from the title hunt for a while, because she can use Anna Jay and Ty and if she has a battle with Mercedes for a while, to stay away from that and help build them up. And just have... I don't think she's ever going to be relished back down to mid-card, so to speak. But she has that, lower main event status with her all the time with this healthy title reign. I don't think anybody's going to keep the title as long as Britt did as well for a while either. Like, Britt's going to be the longest reigning for a while.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. The other part of it is, and this is what AEW's done so well, is they're putting people in position so that they can have mid-card matches that are just as good as the main event matches. We're seeing it with the men. Now they've started to build up the women's division, and we can expect that. So Shida and Deeb was the first extension of, we have mid-card women's matches that aren't centered around a title, that have a great storyline, and they're progressing forward. Britt's going to be the same way, to your point, whether it's with Mercedes based off of this. Hayter and Britt is going to be another match we're going to see here, because it might not be until after the Mercedes match, but that's going to be one we're going to see. You're right. Britt's not going to be in the title picture. She doesn't have to be.
No.
She can sit back. She can have matches and have great matches, and people are still going to remember that, and it's not going to take her down a level or status level in AEW at all.
And I'm not saying she'll never have it again in her career. I'm not saying that. She'll wrap back around to it as well, but it might be a year or a year and a half, essentially.
Exactly.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I think I'll say this. I think she avoids the inevitable title reign of Jade, and she's not involved in that whatsoever.
Yeah, I'd agree. So. Yeah. Orange Cassidy and Bowens for another spot in the ladder match. And this is me. I think the Acclaimed, when they get the mic, they're just out to sell themselves. Like, there's times that, do they need to spew some of the stuff that they need to spew? Like, the whole, you don't have any black friends. Like, that. Yeah, I think they're in it for themselves once in a while. I don't know if that's a written thing. And if it's me being that much of a mark, not understanding it, at this point in time, with the shit going on in the world, does some of this need to be said? I just feel like Tony is a little bit too loose with them.
This is definitely, I think they are definitely writing their own stuff again. I just can't, with what they said, I can't see that being a scripted promo or having input from the back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is something, and you're right, they're probably in it for themselves. How do you make, and they're going about it the controversial route, because sometimes that's the easiest way to make a name for yourself, is let's just be controversial. MJF does it in a way that makes sense, is a part of the storyline, and helps build up other people. But with the Acclaimed, they're just out there making controversy just so that they can get pops on the internet. Not a bad thing, but it's gaining them popularity, and they're just taking the controversial card to another level, if you will.
Yeah. And then I never saw Bowens beaten, just wrapping it up real quick, I never saw Bowens beaten Orange Cassidy. I didn't care who was out there with him. I figured Orange wasn't on the pay-per-view. He had really nothing going forward. This is a perfect match to throw him in. But let me throw this in, and we can put a pin in it and answer it next week. Danhausen's going to be around.
Yep.
We're all predicting Wardlow to win this. Max is now in the building as well, too.
He's tap dancing over there. He's getting ready for this.
He is getting ready for this. Could Danhausen put a curse on everybody and Orange Cassidy wins the face of the Revolution? There's my teaser.
Maybe. That's not a bad teaser. He's definitely going to be involved in the match. He's definitely going to put a curse on somebody. What if he does it with Team Taz?
That would make sense, because that's a storyline he's essentially in.
Right. Although, oh man, Mark.
These are all things we can think about. Nobody would hate either one.
Nobody would hate it. Nobody would hate that Orange Cassidy wins that match. Right? we'll put a pin in it till next week. But that's an interesting point. I didn't even consider.
But then we're building up for Wardlow in our head, and it's being essentially built up, which we think on paper for AEW. If anybody besides Wardlow wins this match, what the F does Wardlow do then? I mean, I know there's other ways that he can get back to MJF, but this was a line written months ago before he even qualified.
Yeah.
So you have to reverse back to that. It was written for a reason. I don't know. I don't think it changes my mind, but
it doesn't change my mind. But it's an interesting thought. Yeah. It's going to happen at some point in the match. Danhausen shown up.
Oh yeah.
But it's something to consider. But I, to your point, it doesn't change my mind of who's going to win.
No, but not yet. Yeah, that's anything else AEW that you saw that you want to bring up since we kind of did a deeper dive this week?
I would love to see Eddie Kingston and Claudio, because that tweet from Eddie on Thursday was pretty interesting. Yeah. I don't know if you saw that, but that kind of, I'll just say that. But yeah.
Yeah. I would think the writing's on the wall that AEW is the spot for Claudio. Yeah. And I know we always say friends there, and I'm sure he's got friends in Impact and everything, but his style fits AEW right now. Yeah. So
it could happen.
I hope it's at Revolution. I was hoping we were going to get one pay-per-view where we didn't get anybody, essentially. Yeah. But I think it's fresh and a huge, no pun, impact can happen if he comes out on Revolution for the wrestling world, because he's still talked about. It's not like he has to go away for 90 days. So
yeah, he's very talked about. The other thing, real quick, Mark, is I don't know if you saw it. I think it might be announced on Dynamite, or it's going to be announced around there. But Tony Khan's business venture that's coming up.
I know.
I don't know if you heard that. I don't know what that is, but that'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
He's got so much shit going on. Like, how does he have time? And I know he has, so to speak, writers helping him, but he's very engulfed into AEW. But he must sleep an hour a day, or he's sleeping like Kramer. When he gets tired, he sleeps that half an hour and then he wakes right back up, or something, because he is a busy man. Touche, shout out to Tony Khan for whatever you're doing, however you're doing it. If you live off of Monster or the Bumblebee pills or whatever, I don't know. But dude's always got something going on. It's crazy.
Exactly. Very crazy. Good luck on whatever it is. I'll be listening excitedly to hear what it is, but it'll be interesting.
He's coming on Can Crushers is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, what a pull. What a steal.
Yeah. All right, when we come back.
Same time as Vince on Pat McAfee, too.
Maybe. Mid-teaser.
There's a teaser.
Well, we should have talked about that, because that makes a lot more sense. When we come back, it's WWE time here on Can Crushers.
This is the B to the C to the S to the T to the double E-L-E, Benjamin C. Steele, Mr. Steele, if you're nasty. Ladies, remember, none of you can be first, but a whole bunch of you can be next. You're listening to the Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, and if you're not, you are the worst part of society. If you are, share it with a friend, because as good as it is that you're listening, it's even better if more people listen. So do it.
Welcome back to the Can Crusher Podcast.
Wow, that's fucking enthralling.
I was trying to think of the NWO, or how to do it with the NWO, but I couldn't make it work. It's like I was going to bring it in with a little freestyle. And then I kind of had to transition away. For life. Okay. I was going to bring it all together, but it didn't work. So
Can Crushers for life.
This message is brought to you by Can Crusher Podcast.
That actually sounded really good. Maybe I might have to clip that out.
Okay.
And use that, or make you do it again when your cockles were warm last week when the 40-year dash recorded at night. How did you get your cockles that warm at night?
Full belly of lasagna, some coffee. Actually, I had a beverage at that point in time too. So maybe I got to start drinking in the morning here. I don't know.
The drinking in the morning is fabulous. Let me just say, not that I was doing it today, but it's fabulous. All right, WWE and Jenks, we've been tiptoeing around, and I guess we really have to start with this, that Vince McMahon is going on the Pat McAfee show Thursday.
Yeah.
There's been rumors already that Vince is going to be in a match at WrestleMania. It would make sense that it's against Pat if he's going on the show to set something up. But let me ask you this. Are we going to get a 70-plus-year-old man in a normal match at WrestleMania? Or do we see other things coming out of this? And then we'll talk about Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, there has to be other things coming out of this. Vince McMahon can barely move to the ring now. And that's nothing against him. He's well in shape and all. He's in probably better shape than I am. But, you're 6 years old?
Sure.
Don't be you can't be in a match. But I think there's shenanigans about it. I think we talked about this a little bit earlier.
So street fight.
The street fight, Austin Theory's involved in this somehow. There's no way Vince is just going out there gung-ho against Pat McAfee.
Or in a couple weeks when the contract signing comes, Vince blows both quads again, and then he implants Theory right against McAfee off the bat. Yeah,
that could be, or even so, maybe he challenges them to a match, but says, I'm going to pick a guy to face you at WrestleMania, or I'm picking Theory to face you at WrestleMania. Almost not Battle of the Billionaires-esque, but in a sense of, let me pick somebody to face you at WrestleMania. And then, of course, Vince is going to have his shenanigans up in line.
Okay, so that's exactly where I wanted you to go, and we didn't talk about this. So maybe it's I pick a wrestler, you pick a wrestler, and McAfee picks Cody Rhodes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh. Yeah.
My only thought on that, though, is that McAfee's wrestled before. He's done quite well.
Vince has too.
Yeah, Vince has too, but
Not
Vince is
has done
76-year-old.
Right.
Yeah. Pat did quite well. Again, Adam Cole was involved, but
do we need another? Because we already have two non-wrestlers wrestling on WrestleMania. Logan Paul is going to wrestle, and Johnny Knoxville is going to wrestle.
Yeah. Maybe we do. Maybe that is the match then. Oh man, you got a good point.
But
what does that? But do they announce it beforehand? Or does Pat say it's me until WrestleMania night, and they pull it's Cody Rhodes? Like kind of like what they did with, even though the scenarios aren't similar, but what they did with the Hardys back at WrestleMania, I think it was 33. When they came back, they didn't announce that there was a fourth team in the ladder match, and then the Hardys came out. Do they do it in that aspect of we're keeping it hush hush, or Pat's going to sell it as it's me, it's me, it's me? Oh no, I've hurt my knee. Here's who's replacing me.
Or let me spin it this way: do we get a mixed tag match where Vince? This gets set up Thursday. We have some time, probably 4 weeks by then, to build this mixed tag. Austin kind of does some shenanigans, and that ends up being Vince's boy. And they say, let's make this a mixed tag match. You can pick anybody you want. We don't care, which leads it to be a surprise at WrestleMania. And that's when Cody comes out. But I do have something, once I hear what you have to say about that, I do have something to say about Cody Rhodes that I saw just this morning as I was on my own throne.
Okay. Great way of putting that. So are you saying, let me clarify here, you're saying mixed tag with Brandy and Cody, right?
No. I'm saying Austin and Vince against McAfee and
Cody.
Cody.
Okay. All right. I was going to question that. So, I mean, that could be, but do you still, well, I don't know if you put Vince in that predicament of a tag team match, unless the end goal is for, well, he could just stand out there and tag himself in, I guess, right? But I feel like he'd have to take a bump at some point in that match.
He could take a bump. He could take one bump and then roll his ass out of the ring or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think he's taking the pinfall. If he's going to be in the match, I think if he's not winning the match and he's in the match, he's taking the finisher and taking the bump and taking the pinfall.
Okay. All right. I saw Cody open a briefcase and he pulled out his Stardust stuff.
Oh, I saw that too.
Please, no. That's not going to happen, is it?
No, because I think, if I'm right, that clip came back from BTE way back when, like 2017.
Oh, okay.
I think that was an old clip because I saw that I think I saw it Friday, to be honest. But then I was reading from the comments and they're like, this is from BT 2017, that type of thing. So I think it was an old video that just had resurfaced and people were just bringing it to legacy left, that type of thing.
Okay.
So I hope to God he's not coming back. Money will buy anything if he goes back and becomes Stardust.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm worried about. If he's getting that big of a payout. We do hear AJ Styles is re-signed for millions and trillions of dollars for multi-year. So AJ, and he actually even posted then, why would I want to go anyplace else? I'm actually happy here. So good for AJ.
Very good for AJ. And I was kind of surprised by the re-signing, not because he didn't like go somewhere else, but I thought I read a few years ago that he said that was going to be his last contract.
I did too.
But you know, if you're happy where you are, and maybe he's just like, hey, this works for me. I'm good. I'm glad. I'm good to be on the road still. So maybe he's just doing that, just making some more money.
Yeah.
More power to him.
Exactly. More power to him. Keep running, kid. Keep running. All right. Raw. Raw starts with Brock. Anytime Brock's on TV, and you said this last week, it's must watch. It has just been fabulous of him cutting his own promos now. It's awesome.
It is very awesome, very good. And we finally got the interaction with Heyman, which I think a lot of people were clamoring for. So, and he called Heyman a dick. So, I mean, I love it.
He did.
Let's do it.
And he was ready to go to Hershey Friday night.
He was.
Has Brock ever been to Hershey, Pennsylvania prior to Friday?
I cannot believe he has.
I can't either. Nothing against Hershey. Nothing against
I love the
chocolate.
It's definitely a Brock Lesnar decision at that point.
Right.
He's going to be in Saskatchewan or Saskatoon just hanging out.
Did you see, by the way, he has his own spices now? Damn it. I can't remember what his meat spices are.
Meat. I did not see he had his own meat rub.
Oh, yeah. He's on
TikTok,
too, for it. The bearded meat rubs or something. I don't know what it is. But...
Well, I did see him do that. Yeah, he showed up at I think that's a butcher shop somewhere. And he was there. There was a couple months ago he did that. There's a full video on YouTube, I think, by this company. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah. He showed up at the butcher shop, clapping meat and just cutting it up.
Brock fucking Lesnar taking over the world yet again.
The Viking Brock Lesnar just doing whatever the fuck he wants.
I don't want to say we need to run through this in order, but would essentially RK Bro and KO and Rollins was a story of the night. If KO and Rollins get the win, they're embedded in the tag team match weeks down the road, which it shocks me that WWE is doing that, because normally everything is link to the following week. So I was shocked that they said this happens in I thought in 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
One, why do you think they're doing this a couple weeks down the road? And two, do we get new tag champs going into WrestleMania as Owens and what the hell is his name? Seth Rollins.
Rollins?
Yeah.
Wow, you forgot Seth freaking Rollins.
Because normally I don't call him Owens, first of all. I always say KO.
Right.
So once
KO.
I said Owens, I was like, what? Who is his partner? And I almost said KO again. But between KO and Rollins, do we get that tag team? And then maybe at Mania is where... because we're getting a match out of them at some point. We want it, first and foremost.
Yeah. Maybe they do give him the run with the titles for... Maybe we don't get that match till SummerSlam. Let's be honest. Now, RK Bro is happening at Mania. I feel like that's a given.
I think that sets up in this 2-week match.
Yes, exactly. I think that everything transpires from there. Also, Randy Orton shaved the goatee, and he looks like that old Viper Orton, like late 2000s into early 2010s Orton. I thought that was very concerning as well.
Do you follow Randy Orton on TikTok, by the way?
Not on TikTok. I didn't know he had a TikTok.
You should, because his wife was in the front row at one of the live events. He came over, kissed her, and grabbed her boob, and that was the whole TikTok. And she kind of looked at him like, what the fuck did you just do? So he's a little bit more open on TikTok, just to let you know.
Yeah, fair enough. But I feel like he's changed his persona here. By the looks change everything, right?
Yes.
So I think there's a persona shift there. So I think that's happening. I just think they're settled with KO and Seth being tag champs going into Mania. I don't know how that would play into the proposed KO Austin thing going on.
But is it?
I think that's still the KO show. And I think Rollins is there. Right?
Right.
So maybe this is where you see Austin comes out to defend Texas, and you also see The Undertaker show up. One's got to take out Owens, one's got to take out Rollins, right?
Right.
So now I'm not saying Undertaker's saving Austin because that would never happen, but it's that kind of thing. God bless Texas type mentality, if you will. But
God bless Texas with his old hands. That was Little Texas or Big Texas or God, it was a country song in the 90s.
It had to have been Big Texas. There's no way anything with Texas is not going to be little.
All right, I don't know
Texas.
Whatever the hell their band name was.
I can't remember, but I'm just assuming it's got to be big. But yeah, so. But does it make sense to put the tag title? Here's where we go back to. If this was AEW, the tag titles would not be put into that interview segment, right?
Right.
But because it's WWE, I think they put the tag titles on, and they're just sitting at WrestleMania with the tag titles, just like, oh hey, we got the tag titles, and here's the KO show type thing. Yeah. And they're just trashing Texas and Texas at that point.
I think that makes the most sense, honestly. It really does.
Yeah. So, what the hell were we talking about? Yeah, RK Bro's happening, and I think Rollins and Owens is going to happen at SummerSlam, though.
Yeah.
Because there's got to be a break. There's got to be a break, and there's got to be a shift in this dynamic. There's already jealousy brewing from Seth being in the chamber and KO not being in it.
Right.
So Owens is going to turn on him at some point.
Who does Edge go against at WrestleMania? And I already have a guess because he leaked one word.
He said one word, and it's phenomenal. That's it.
All right. I didn't know if you got it. I didn't know if everybody got it.
You know what? That hit was so hard to find.
Right.
It hurt. I racked my brain. But we've been talking about, I've been talking about wanting to see that match. They already have a build-in from when Edge came back at the Rumble, and he broke AJ's shoulder. Yep. They could play off of that. So you want to... That's why AJ resigned. You could say that's why AJ resigned. Yeah, you got a hell of money, but now you get a match against Edge.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Thought we were getting that. I'll take that every day of the week.
The other thing I want to talk about is Damian Priest, okay?
Yeah.
Damian Priest, after he beats Shelton Benjamin kind of easily, grabs the mic and says, and I'm okay with who came out, but comes on and says he wants to beat people that are actually legends, and that I'm just using my own words essentially. dude, you just fought AJ fucking Styles. I understand your last two were against Shelton Benjamin and, Bob the Builder or whoever the hell it was, and I've forgotten about it. But don't forget, don't be popping off that you just beat AJ Styles. So that's a legendary match within itself, and you kind of made AJ look a little weak there.
Yeah.
So I got pissed at Damian.
I don't blame you one bit. I don't like the smug attitude, but are we getting a heel turn with Damian where he's going to get smug very quickly?
I think he needs to.
I agree with that because the character has gotten to a point. I don't want to say stale, but it's just gotten to a point where it's not doing anything.
Right?
It's kind of just hanging there.
I'm
glad he's actually fighting because there's some U.S. champions we haven't seen that with.
Right.
But it's just kind of stale and just whatever.
And I think his next opponent is where he gets the huge heelisher turn because Finn comes out and answers it. Do I think Finn's going to win? No. Sorry, Finn. I don't. I don't think it's Finn's time with this. I think Priest loses the U.S. title after Mania and then gets thrown into, because I said it before, I think he gets thrown into the heavyweight championship picture here in the near future. I really do. But I don't think it's going into Mania because then he's lost in the shuffle at Mania. Maybe Finn might beat him and then he gets a rematch for Finn or something like that. I'm okay if they continue that. But if he loses it and ends up in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, holy fuck, what is Damian Priest going to do next year?
Right. Well, and that's it. Does he just win Andre the Giant Battle Royal, just have the name on it, which it hasn't done anything. It hasn't been worth anything after they killed Cesaro after he won it.
Right.
Right. It's tough to say, but I guess my mind keeps going back. I think he beats Finn next week, obviously, to put him over even more. Who, if he's talking legend, if he's talking this big talent, who would step up to face Damian Priest? Who are they going to bring in?
Bob when he comes back.
Maybe. But although now I saw reports that Bob's trying to get cleared by Mania.
He is.
Is it Bob and Damian at Mania? Maybe. If that happens. Maybe there's an open challenge at Mania and Bob answers it. Let's go that route.
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
I would be all right with that.
Because that's kind of how this has been going. Hey, it's an open challenge, or they've been building it that way. You know what I mean? So maybe they do the open challenge for Damian Priest's title, and it's Bob. Yeah. It's not going to be Elias. He hasn't shown up recently.
It's going to be Veer.
Veer may have finally come. May finally come at Mania.
Is this just a work now? This whole Veer coming?
I think it's they're getting shits and giggles out of it. He's going to show up after Mania. At this point,
has he walked from Pakistan or India or no disrespect wherever the hell he's from? Has he walked the whole time?
Well, he has, and it's been tough getting through the ocean. I feel like so maybe he got stuck in the Atlantic.
The octopi are getting him.
Krakens are very flourishing in the Atlantic. Can stop at the iceberg that took down the Titanic and visit it. Maybe he's getting a selfie there. Who knows?
I don't know.
But Veer's coming. He's getting inspiration from these mythical beasts and these things that are taking down gigantic ships.
What else do you have for Raw, my good friend?
Hang on, I gotta look through my notes. You know what? Nothing after that. I mean, that's just the perfect way to end Raw.
It is.
Veer's coming, and he's hanging out with Krakens. Ciampa showed up. Ciampa was in a match, but it wasn't anything to note.
No, and I didn't watch NXT to see what him and Ziggler did. They're pulling them down. Ziggler and a couple other people down to be on NXT, but it's still not enough to make me want to say, I need to watch this.
Yeah. Well, it's not must see yet. And I think I didn't watch it, but I did see the clip. I know Rude showed up as a camera crew, or as part of the ring crew, and I think screwed Ciampa out of the match. So Ziggler did win.
So do we get Ciampa at Mania?
In a battle royal?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. They're working him out of NXT. They clearly, I hate to say this, he doesn't fit NXT anymore.
No, he doesn't. But to that point, he doesn't fit the whole WWE.
No. Touche. I just didn't want to say that altogether, but touche.
I'm going to say it. He doesn't fit WWE now. And that's how they wanted to build it.
Yeah. SmackDown. We start with me choking. Ronda's in the ring with Cole. And here comes Flair. And Flair was spitting fire. Go have your second baby, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was straight fire. I mean, pretty straightforward. They tried to double team Ronda too, and that didn't work out. Are you excited for Rousey Deville next week?
No, because I'm a huge Sonya fan, and I know that, and we knew that Ronda was going to have somewhat of a warm-up one-on-one at some point.
Right.
Because the tag team match was gimmicky and this, that, and the other. So she needs maybe even get another one down the line because WrestleMania again 5 weeks away. I think it's a perfect opponent essentially because the stature of Flair and Deville, if you're looking to work some ring rust off of, is damn near the same. But the style is Ronda against Ronda because Deville's a UFC fucking fighter herself.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a different style of match. Because you see WWE, Ronda's just been facing sports entertainers. So maybe we get a little more of a submission-based match with her and Sonya next week. Probably not. It's definitely going to be a squash, but something to look forward to. I'm looking at the positive here.
Are you?
I'm looking at it. I'm hoping.
I thought SmackDown was actually, besides the contract signing, was the weaker of the show this week.
Yeah.
Sammy's celebration was good until Knoxville came out. Like, I love Sammy on the mic just spewing his shit. And then Knoxville came out, and it seems like it kind of went a little wonky until he started beating him up. Like, I knew what Knoxville had to say or was scripted to say or whatever. He couldn't get it out quick enough. Sammy was stepping on him a couple times.
Yeah, he was. It makes you wonder, is Sammy just done with this whole thing? A little bit?
I don't know. It was like, hey, Sammy, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be IC champion going into WrestleMania. Cool, but you're going to face Knoxville. What are we getting out of this? We thought it was okay at Elimination Chamber or even during SmackDown and everything to get these little fun little things, but you're going to bring this to Mania? And again, I was the one that said Bad Bunny shouldn't be there. And I still say he shouldn't be there. Essentially, he had an alright match last year.
Bad Bunny stepped up. Knoxville's not going to step up.
You don't think?
I look at him in the Rumble match.
He wasn't. He didn't do anything. How can I look at him?
He threw a couple of terrible punches and did nothing. Yeah, but I just don't see him being in that professional wrestling. It just doesn't mesh well. Sammy was definitely going to carry the match no matter what. But I always go back to this, and I think I said this, I don't know, last month or a couple weeks ago. Look at the position they're putting this Intercontinental title in.
Yeah.
The prestige now only lasts with the fans. The company could not care less about this title. They're putting it, Johnny Knoxville in a match against Sami Zayn. I get it. You want to have, Sammy and Johnny have a match or whatever, and you want another celebrity match on the card. Can we not do it for the title? Because you know what's going to happen. Something's telling me Johnny Knoxville's winning the Intercontinental title at Mania.
No way. Well, as long as we did, we said that last week. If we get a tournament out of it, then I'm all right with it.
Right. We did say that. So that's where I'm still sticking to that gun. Well, I'm sticking to that hope. I'm not sticking to that gun that it's going to produce a tournament because there's no way Johnny Knoxville is going to be on a run for the Intercontinental title. You know that.
No.
He's going to forfeit it. It was just get one over on Sammy and win the feud.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Two more things I want to bring up. Xia Li looked extremely weak being the protector in her debut match. This should have been a squash. Like, even going back to Xia Li NXT, she was the almighty protector of the dynasty of whatever the hell she was doing. Transition up here to being the protector of Ali or Aliyah or whatever the hell her name is. Ali is Mustafa, who's still wanting out of the WWE, by the way.
Yeah.
Aliyah. So why didn't Aliyah kind of come out? If we're going to continue this storyline a little bit, or is it completely done? These are all thoughts going in my head. I just think, I thought Nat was going to win that. I really, and it didn't look like Xia was an underdog. She just looked weak.
Well, yeah, and her pre-match promo didn't seem too confident building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Didn't really put the confidence in it. This may sound, Natalya's a great worker, but I'm kind of a little bit tired of Natalya.
Yep.
Because it's almost like a one-trick pony, and I don't want to say that about her in-ring ability, but her personality, it just doesn't, I don't know. I kind of would like to see her go away for like a few months, just reinvent herself or something and come back. That's great. I'm just not, and I don't know if it's because it's building up this younger talent that it's just like, I'm done with it. It's the same shtick every week.
It is. What it is. It is. She did the same thing with Aliyah. Just essentially, the 3.17 seconds, whatever. And now she's going to do the same thing with Xia, just to make her look tough again.
That's it. It's just an old and tired trope that's being played here. Xia Li didn't look that impressive. I'm hoping for more. I think she can do more. I think she can be a standout player, but we have to see more. Yeah. And I don't know if Natalya is just requiring that she gets her shots in or has a better look, you know what I mean, as putting these people over, which is fair. She's a veteran. But the personality thing is just killing me on this.
And finally, Sasha takes on and beats Shotzi handily. And Naomi was out there, and now we know how Bayley's coming back. I think they ruined it already.
Yeah. And not how I would want her to come back.
No. Do you think that Naomi and Sasha win the titles, or do you think Bayley is there to start somewhat of a feud with Naomi and her and Sasha beat the shit out of her, and then maybe they reclaim the tag titles at some point? They're not around the heavyweight title for a while yet, especially if Ronda's winning from Flair on WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, they're not getting the title. One of them's not getting a title shot until at least SummerSlam. I feel like they might push for Sasha and Naomi to get the women's tag titles. At this point, I just don't see. I don't know, because I don't know what they don't do anything with the women's tag titles for me to put an investment in it. Yeah.
And that's sad, but yeah.
It's very sad, because if I think back to when Sasha and Bayley won them, and then the Iconics to come off of them, that was great. There was a lot of build-up for it. It was fantastic, but then it just kind of died because they don't support tag team wrestling. And if you're not going to support tag team wrestling, then don't create the second title or the third tag team title, which is unfortunate.
Yep. I have one more thing to say about WWE, and then we can wrap it up, or you can spew off whatever you want to say. I'm actually excited for tomorrow night on WWE's YouTube. Corey and Carmella premieres. I've been a Bear With Us listener, their podcast for the longest time. They keep it real. I really like those two together, and I guess I'm going to get engulfed into a reality show. Thank God it's on YouTube and I can watch it whenever I want, because I can't watch the premiere tomorrow night. But if you're on WWE YouTube tomorrow, that's going to be leaked. I think it's actually at noon, so maybe I can watch it at work. But we don't say that because I'm busy at work.
Yes, things to do.
Very busy at work. So yeah, check that out. Are you gonna watch that? I love Corey and Carmella, by the way, and I would call them Matt and Leah their face because I respect them a lot on Bear With Us.
Yeah, I'm going to tune in to check it out because I've done it with Ms. and Mrs. I always check into reality shows to see what they are and how they turn out to be. So I'm interested to see in this. I've heard a few episodes of Bear With Us. Now it's not something I regularly listen to. I'll say that, but I'll be interested to see how everything turns out. The trailer for it looked pretty good.
It did.
So I think it's going to be a pretty good show. So I'm excited for it. Are you going to watch it now? Not at work, obviously. But
not at work, obviously.
Obviously, I was going to say, is this something that you and Kelly would watch together now?
Probably, because she actually listens to Bear With Us as well, and she really loves. She doesn't know who Carmella is, but she knows who Leah is.
Right.
Do you get that?
That's fair. Yeah, I got you. I got what you're throwing down there.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to bring up?
No, nothing major. Just looking ahead, and I'm trying to figure out who Brock's opponent will be at MSG because I don't think they announced that. I don't remember that being announced yet.
No.
Besides, it could be Lashley, but that's about it for WWE. That's all I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, and I'm shocked that they're not making that the first Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
main event. I mean, God, Saturday Night Live.
Saturday live from New York. It would be live from New York. So that would work.
It would be, yes.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I think that plays back to MSG's production fees or whatever it is, because I think that's the only reason you don't see more of MSG on Raw.
True.
Raw and SmackDown, because they have to pay an arm and a leg for that.
Yeah, and you can just go down to Brooklyn and have it for millions of dollars cheaper.
Exactly.
So, all right, we sounded a little mundane today, but I think we're both just worn out. And it's not wrestling worn out. I think it's just life worn out.
Yeah, life gets to us someday. Next week I'll bring it. I'll bring it next week.
Next week we'll definitely bring it because we'll have our Revolution predictions, run over what the hell does happen on WWE, and maybe we throw this out there to Can Crusher Nation. We'd like to hear some of your freaking phone call predictions for Revolution, and that would be cool. So you can call the hotline number, and this just came to my head, so I'm pulling up the number right now since I haven't said it in a while. Jenks, do you remember it? Yeah. No.
Not off the top of my head. It's been a while since we talked about it.
Well, because we had to have this. Everybody get a phone line, and we'll call in, and yeah. So let's get your Revolution predictions on the hotline. Leave your message. Leave it under 3 minutes long. Don't call 75 times for some people. But the number is 814-299-6687. We'll play them on the show. We'll make fun of you if we don't like them, or we'll agree with you. Again, 814-299-6687. Get your Revolution predictions in for next week, and then we'll give you ours, and then maybe if I like your predictions and when you call, I'll just have you come on the show.
Yeah, we could do it.
I think we should.
I think so too. The possibilities are endless.
Guest predictioner.
Yes. And if it's by popular demand, I will get the 40-year Dash co-host that doesn't watch. I'll get his predictions too.
Who kicked my ass the last time, by the way.
Yeah, Moochie stepped up his game for not knowing anybody in there. So we'll see what he says.
All right, Jenks. Again, make sure you listen to us on Spotify, on all the podcast outlets, iTunes, Google Play, all that. Don't forget, I will push it again. This coming Wednesday, Vet Adams is going to be the most inspirational, heartwarming, crying, amazing freaking story in professional wrestling. It is already from me crowned the interview of the year. So if you have something better, you guys better bring it. Get a hold of us, and we'll put you on the spotlight. I'm excited. Vet Adams from Deep South Wrestling.
Can't wait to see it. Can't wait to hear it. I should say, not see it.
All of the above. Remember, Jenks, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things.
A garbage can, not a garbage cannot.